The planet Eloria hung silently in the cold black of space. From orbit, it looked like any ordinary world, a swirl of blue oceans and pale green lands. Yet beneath its surface lay a secret that would shake the universe. For centuries, humans had explored the stars, but nothing had prepared them for what they were about to find. Commander Elena Drake led the human expedition team. She was calm and focused, but her heart raced as their ship descended through the dense clouds. "Sensors are picking up something unusual," said Lieutenant Harris, pointing at the console. The readings were erratic, almost alive. "What is it?" Elena asked, her voice steady. "Not sure yet. Some kind of structure. But it doesn't match anything in the human database," Harris replied, eyes wide. The team landed near a jagged mountain range. From a distance, the artifact looked like a giant crystal, rising from the ground like a monument. Its surface shimmered with a strange, silvery light that seemed to pulse in rhythm with an invisible heartbeat. As Elena stepped closer, she felt a strange energy in the air. The ground beneath her feet vibrated softly, as if the planet itself were aware of their presence. She signaled her team to proceed cautiously. Inside the artifact, the walls were smooth and metallic, unlike any material found on Earth. Strange symbols glowed faintly, casting shadows that danced across their helmets. Harris ran his fingers over the symbols. These are not human. Or even alien as we know it. They feel older. Older than anything we've seen. Elena frowned. "We need to document this carefully. Nothing should be touched until we understand it." But curiosity is a dangerous thing. Even with warnings in her mind, she could not resist the artifact's pull. Slowly, she reached toward a central crystal that hung suspended in the middle of the chamber. The moment her fingers brushed its surface, a pulse of light shot through the room. It was blinding and warm, yet filled with a strange, vibrating energy. Alarms went off in the ship orbiting above. Back at the Galactic Council, their envoy observed the readings with alarm. Ambassador Zyler's eyes widened behind the visor. "They've done it? Humanity has crossed the line." But the humans did not know what they had done. As Elena withdrew her hand, the chamber seemed to react. The glowing symbols expanded, forming patterns that resembled maps of stars, galaxies, and strange, unfamiliar energies. A low hum filled the air, resonating in the minds of the team. It was almost like the artifact was alive. Harris spoke, voice trembling. "Commander, I think it's communicating. But, in a way we can't understand." Suddenly, the floor beneath them shook violently. Dust and small rocks rained down from the ceiling. Elena grabbed Harris and pulled him back. The crystal pulsed brighter, sending waves of energy that made their helmets fog over. The team could feel the heat and power radiating from it. Outside, sensors on the ship recorded a spike in energy that had never been seen before. Lights flickered across the human fleet, and every communication device crackled with static. The envoy from the Galactic Council stood frozen, hand hovering over the console. Humanity had done something forbidden. Something that should not be touched. Inside the chamber, Elena and her team struggled to maintain balance. The hum grew louder, almost deafening, vibrating in their bones. They could feel it in their minds, a strange pressure that forced them to focus on the crystal. It was as if the artifact was demanding attention. Elena knew they were in danger, but she could not look away. The crystal's light formed patterns that seemed to tell a story, an ancient warning written across space and time. And then, just as suddenly as it began, the pulsing stopped. The chamber went dark, leaving only a faint glow from the symbols. Elena collapsed to her knees, breathing heavily. "Is everyone okay?" she asked. Harris nodded slowly, but his eyes were wide with awe and fear. I think we've just awakened something," he said quietly. Elena's heart pounded. She looked around the chamber, trying to make sense of the symbols. But she knew one thing for certain: humanity had crossed a boundary. A line that should never have been crossed. Above them, in the cold void of space, the envoy of the Galactic Council pressed a button and leaned closer to the console. His voice was calm but filled with gravity. "The humans, they do not yet understand. But they have crossed the forbidden line. And now, everything changes." Elena and her team did not know it yet, but their discovery had set events in motion that would ripple across the galaxy. The Council would watch. The artifact would wait. And humanity had stepped into a game that stretched across time, space, and power far greater than anything they had ever imagined. And in that moment, a quiet, terrifying realization settled in Elena's mind: nothing would ever be the same again. Far beyond the orbit of Eloria, in the heart of the galaxy, the Galactic Council gathered in their towering chamber. Their halls were vast, filled with alien delegates from countless star systems. Each being was unique, with forms and appearances that defied human imagination. But one thing united them all: the strict enforcement of cosmic law. Ambassador Xyler, the envoy who had been quietly observing humanity, stood before the council. His tentacles trembled slightly as he presented the data. "Council members, I bring alarming news. Humanity has interacted with the ancient artifact on Eloria. They have crossed a forbidden boundary." A hush fell over the chamber. The council's high delegates leaned forward, their voices low murmurs of disbelief. No species in recorded history had ever dared this. "Explain," demanded Elder Vieronin, whose crystalline body glowed with soft inner light. "What boundary have they crossed?" Xyler's voice was steady. "The artifact is one of the oldest constructs in the galaxy, designed to regulate cosmic energy and maintain universal balance. Humanity has touched it directly, triggering energy flows that were meant to remain sealed. They are unaware of the consequences." A delegate hissed, the sound sharp and chilling. "This is unprecedented. Are they aware of the cosmic law?" Xyler shook his head. "No. They have no knowledge of the laws beyond their system. Yet they have acted as if the law does not exist. Their curiosity, their ambition, it is reckless. Dangerous." The council debated in whispers, the tension growing with every passing moment. Some argued for immediate intervention, while others hesitated, intrigued by humanity's audacity. Elder Vieronin's voice finally cut through the discussion. "We cannot ignore this. The humans have awakened forces they cannot control. We must act carefully, but we must act." Meanwhile, on Earth, Elena Drake's team had returned to their ship, still shaken by the artifact's strange energy. Harris sat staring at the readings, unable to speak. "Commander, the energy spike. It's spreading beyond the planet. I think it's reaching other star systems." Elena's eyes widened. "What? That can't be. It's just the artifact, right?" Harris shook his head. "No. It's more than that. It's like the artifact is alive. It's sending signals. And I think someone, or something, is watching." The team didn't yet know that the council's envoy, Xyler, had already observed every movement from orbit. He had watched Elena touch the crystal, had felt the artifact's pulse resonate across the galaxy. Humanity's actions had been recorded in real time, and now the council was preparing its response. Back in the council chamber, the decision was made. "We will send an envoy to Earth," Elder Vieronin declared. "They must be warned. If humanity continues unchecked, the balance of the galaxy could be shattered. And if they resist, we may have no choice but to intervene directly." Xyler's tentacles flexed nervously. "And if they refuse our warning?" he asked. "Then," Vieronin said quietly, "we watch. And we wait. But the humans must understand that the line they have crossed is not negotiable." On Earth, Elena's team began their analysis of the artifact. "We should report this to Earth Command immediately," Harris suggested, worry in his voice. Elena shook her head. "Not yet. We need to understand it first. This is too important to risk being misunderstood. If we can harness this energy, we could change humanity's future forever." As they spoke, the artifact's glow began to dim, but a low hum remained in the chamber. It was subtle, almost hypnotic, yet impossible to ignore. It felt alive, as if it were aware that humans were plotting, thinking, daring to control what should never be controlled. Far above, Xyler's ship remained hidden in orbit. He observed silently, recording every moment. His report to the council would be precise, detailed, and alarming. Humanity had acted without fear, without understanding, without regard for the ancient laws that govern the stars. And yet, there was something in their boldness that even Xyler could not ignore. Something that stirred curiosity amidst the council's fear. The humans were different, unpredictable, and the galaxy had never seen anything like them. As night fell over Eloria, Elena stood at the edge of the landing platform, staring at the horizon. "I feel like we're standing at the edge of something huge," she whispered. "Something that could either destroy us, or make us stronger than we've ever imagined." Inside the artifact chamber, the central crystal pulsed faintly once more, as if acknowledging her words. And somewhere, far across the stars, the council deliberated, their decision weighing heavily over humanity's fate. The line had been crossed. And nothing would ever be the same again. The artifact's hum continued, soft but insistent, echoing through the chamber. Commander Elena Drake stared at it, heart pounding. Every instinct screamed caution, yet every thought pulled her closer. Humanity had discovered something extraordinary, something powerful. And now the question loomed, what would they do with it? We need to understand its energy, Elena said, her voice firm. If we can control this, it could change everything for humanity. Imagine, unlimited energy, knowledge beyond our reach. Lieutenant Harris shook his head. Commander, I don't know. The Council, if they notice what we're doing, this could be dangerous. Really dangerous. Elena's eyes narrowed. Harris, humanity has always faced danger. This is our chance to step forward. To prove we are more than just another species in the galaxy. The team set to work. Instruments and scanners were placed around the crystal, humming with activity. Data streamed across their monitors, showing patterns of energy no human had ever seen. The artifact's power was immense, almost alive, and it responded to every calculation, every measurement as if testing them. Then it happened. A spike of energy surged through the chamber, stronger than before. Lights flickered, machines shuddered, and the air vibrated with raw power. Elena froze, staring at the central crystal. The symbols on its surface were moving, shifting into shapes that resembled unknown galaxies, lines of energy connecting stars and planets. This is incredible, whispered Harris. It's like it's showing us the secrets of the universe. Elena nodded, but she could feel the danger too. We have to be careful. One wrong move. Before she could finish, the crystal pulsed brightly, sending a wave of energy rippling through the chamber. The humans were thrown off balance, gripping tables and equipment to steady themselves. And then, in a voice only they could feel in their minds, a whisper resonated, ancient and powerful. You have awakened me. Are you ready for what comes next? The team froze. No human words could describe the awe and fear that gripped them. The artifact was alive and it was aware of their presence. Above them, Xyler, the Council's envoy, observed silently from orbit. His sensors recorded the energy surge and alarms flashed on his console. Humanity was doing something forbidden. Something no species had dared to do. They are activating the artifact, he muttered, voice tense. They don't understand the consequences. They are defying the law of the galaxy. Back on the ground, Elena's team began to realize the magnitude of what they had done. The artifact's energy started to flow through their equipment, connecting with the ship's systems. Lights in the chamber flashed, displaying images of distant stars and nebulae, interwoven with the symbols from the crystal. It's communicating through energy, Harris said, awe in his voice. It's teaching us, showing us how to use it. Elena's mind raced. If we can harness this safely, humanity could become the most powerful species in the galaxy. But if we fail, we could destroy ourselves. Suddenly, the chamber shook violently. The artifact's pulsing grew faster, brighter, almost uncontrollable. The walls glowed with blinding light, casting shadows that danced like living beings. The humans scrambled to stabilize the equipment, but the energy was overwhelming. In orbit, Xyler pressed a warning to the Council. They've crossed a line. The artifact is responding. If they continue, the balance of the galaxy could be shattered. The Council deliberated quickly, their fear growing. Humanity was unpredictable, bold, reckless. And now, they held power that could rival even the most ancient civilizations. On Eloria, Elena and her team held their breath as the artifact pulsed one final time. A wave of energy washed over them, filling their minds with visions of distant galaxies, technologies beyond imagination, and the raw force of creation itself. For a moment, it was as if they understood everything. And then the energy receded. The chamber went quiet. The symbols dimmed, leaving only a faint glow. The humans were exhausted, shaken, but alive. Elena looked at her team, eyes wide with both fear and exhilaration. We've done it. We've unlocked it, but we have no idea what we've started. Harris nodded, voice barely a whisper. The Council, they must know. And they will not be happy. Far above, Xyler watched silently, recording every movement. Humanity had done the impossible. They had activated a force no other species had dared to touch. And the Council's patience was running thin. Somewhere in the depths of the galaxy, the ancient artifact waited. It had tested humanity and found them bold. But was boldness enough to survive the consequences? Elena's mind was filled with one thought as she stared at the pulsing crystal. The universe had changed. And humanity would never be the same again. The Council's chamber was tense, filled with whispers and low hums of concern. Beings from hundreds of star systems had gathered, all watching the live data from Eloria. The energy readings from the artifact were unlike anything recorded in the history of the galaxy. Ambassador Xyler stood before the Council once again, his tentacles twitching with unease. "They have activated the artifact," he said. "The humans, they are not only touching forbidden energy, they are learning from it. They are bold, reckless, and unpredictable." A glowing delegate, Elder Vryn, leaned forward. "How long before they realize the danger? They do not understand cosmic law. They do not comprehend the forces they are handling." Xyler hesitated. "It is happening now. They have already tapped into energy streams that were meant to remain sealed. If we intervene, they may resist. If we do not, the consequences could ripple across the galaxy." The council debated for hours. Some argued for immediate military intervention, sending ships to Eloria to seize control of the artifact. Others feared confrontation, worried that humanity's use of the artifact could escalate into a war beyond their control. Finally, Elder Vryn spoke, her crystalline body shimmering. "We will send an envoy directly to Earth. They must understand that their actions have consequences. If they continue without our guidance, they will bring chaos upon themselves and the galaxy." Xyler was chosen to lead the mission. He felt a mix of fear and curiosity. Humanity was unlike any species he had ever encountered. Bold, intelligent, and unafraid. And now they held power that even the Council feared. Meanwhile, on Eloria, Elena Drake and her team were unaware of the Council's decision. They were studying the artifact, analyzing the data that flowed like living threads through their equipment. Every reading was more astonishing than the last. "This is incredible," Harris whispered. "The artifact, it's like it's showing us the universe. Galaxies, stars, energy flows, everything." Elena nodded. "I know. But we have to be careful. We don't understand the full scope of this power. We could destroy ourselves if we're not careful." Their caution, however, was not enough to prevent what came next. The artifact pulsed again, sending a shockwave through the chamber. Lights flickered and shadows danced across the walls like ghostly figures. The team grabbed their equipment to steady themselves, hearts pounding. Suddenly, the sky above Eloria darkened. A massive shadow loomed, blocking the stars. Ships unlike any human design descended silently, glowing with strange energy. Elena looked up, alarmed. What is that?" Harris's voice was tight with fear. "I think it's them. The Council." The ships landed softly, and from one of them, a figure emerged, tall, imposing, and unlike anything humans had ever seen. Ambassador Xyler stepped forward, his presence both regal and terrifying. His voice carried clearly through a translator. "Humans," he said, calm but firm. "You have crossed a boundary no species has ever dared. You have activated energy that was forbidden. You must cease immediately or face consequences beyond your understanding." Elena stepped forward, heart racing, but her voice was steady. "Ambassador, we did not know. We are explorers seeking knowledge. We mean no harm. We only wish to understand this artifact." Xyler's eyes, sharp and unblinking, studied her. "Ignorance is not an excuse. The forces you have awakened are ancient and powerful. One misstep could destroy your world, or more. Yet I see courage in your people. Boldness. Intelligence. Something rare." Harris whispered, "Commander, do we tell them everything? Or keep some control?" Elena shook her head. "We have no choice but to be honest. If we hide our intentions, it will only provoke them." Xyler's gaze shifted across the team. "You have a choice," he said slowly. "Obey and you will survive. Resist and the galaxy will act against you. The line you crossed is not a suggestion. It is law. The artifact is not yours to command." The team exchanged uneasy glances. The gravity of their actions had finally hit them. They were no longer just explorers. They were players in a game much larger than themselves. A game involving forces they barely understood, with eyes watching from every corner of the galaxy. Elena swallowed hard. "We understand," she said. "But we cannot abandon the artifact. It is too important. We must study it. We must learn from it." Xyler's expression remained unreadable. "Very well," he said, voice low and deliberate. "But know this, the Council will be watching. Every action. Every decision. Humanity has entered a path that has never been walked. And the consequences will be severe." As the Council ships lifted silently back into orbit, Elena and her team stared at the artifact. Its glow was calm now, almost as if it had absorbed the confrontation. But in the quiet of the chamber, a thought echoed in their minds. The universe had noticed humanity, and the rules had changed. The line had been crossed. The Council had warned them. And humanity's next move would determine not just their future, but the fate of countless worlds. The sky above Eloria burned with light. Council ships, massive and gleaming, hovered silently in orbit, their presence a constant reminder of humanity's audacity. Commander Elena Drake stood at the edge of the landing platform, eyes fixed on the glowing artifact that pulsed in response to the alien fleet above. "We can't back down," Elena said, her voice firm. "This is our discovery. Our future. We have to protect it." Lieutenant Harris swallowed nervously. "But Commander, those ships, they're unlike anything we've ever faced. Even the fleet. I don't know if we can defend ourselves." Elena shook her head. "We have to try. We've already crossed the line. Running is not an option." Inside the chamber, the artifact began to pulse faster, its energy crackling through the walls. Symbols flashed across the surface, revealing complex patterns of energy, stars, and forces beyond comprehension. It was alive. It was aware. And it was ready. From orbit, Ambassador Zyler watched carefully. "They are defying my warning," he muttered. "Humanity, they may not survive this." Without warning, a beam of energy shot from the artifact into the sky, forming a shield around the human settlement. Council ships fired in response, but their attacks bounced harmlessly off the shimmering barrier. Elena's team gasped. The artifact's power was stronger than they had imagined. "This is incredible," Harris shouted. "It's protecting us." Elena's mind raced. "The artifact isn't just energy. It's alive. It's responding to us, defending us. We can control it, if we understand it quickly." The Council fleet paused, surprised. They had never encountered a species capable of harnessing such ancient power. Some delegates whispered among themselves, doubts creeping into their minds. Could humanity be more than just a reckless species? Zyler's eyes narrowed. "They are bold, but dangerous. We cannot underestimate them." On the ground, Elena reached out toward the crystal. The energy responded instantly, pulsing in rhythm with her heartbeat. Visions of distant galaxies and unimaginable technology filled her mind. She understood, at least partially, how to wield the artifact's power. "Focus," she shouted to her team. "We can use it to defend ourselves, to show them we mean no harm but will not surrender either." Energy surged from the artifact, forming glowing constructs around the humans. Shields, weapons, tools, technology that no human engineer could have imagined, emerged from the energy itself. The team realized they were no longer merely explorers. They were champions of humanity, wielding the power of an ancient force. Council ships advanced, firing beams of energy that clashed with the artifact's defenses. Explosions lit the dark sky, painting it with brilliant colors. The humans fought back with the artifact's energy, not through violence alone, but through the manipulation of cosmic forces, redirecting energy, forming shields, and deflecting attacks with precision. Even Zyler was amazed. They are controlling it. Somehow they understand it. But to what end? As the battle continued, the artifact pulsed with greater intensity. It seemed to be testing humanity, pushing them, demanding courage and intelligence. Elena felt the weight of every decision. One wrong move and the energy could consume them all. Suddenly, the artifact released a massive wave of energy, enveloping the entire battlefield. Council ships were thrown back, their attacks rendered useless. The humans held their ground, their shields glowing brilliantly. The artifact had chosen them, recognized their boldness and intelligence. In the council chamber, whispers turned into stunned silence. Elder Vron's crystalline body glowed brighter. "In all my cycles, I have never witnessed such control over ancient power. Humanity, they are not merely surviving. They are rising." Zyler's voice was low, almost reverent. "They are bold, yes, but this is only the beginning. The artifact has awakened fully, and we have no idea what comes next." On Eloria, Elena and her team stood at the center of the pulsing energy. Fear and exhilaration battled within them. They were tired, battered, and overwhelmed, but victorious. This changes everything," Harris whispered. "We've survived. And we've shown them we are not weak." Elena nodded, eyes fixed on the artifact. "We have crossed a line, but maybe that line was never meant to limit us. Maybe it was meant to test us." And as the last council ships withdrew to regroup, a thought echoed in Elena's mind. Humanity had proven itself. But the galaxy had only begun to notice. And the challenges ahead were far greater than anyone could imagine. The artifact's glow dimmed slightly as if acknowledging their courage. But beneath its calm surface, a quiet hum suggested that its full power had yet to be revealed. Humanity had won the battle, but the war for the galaxy's future was only beginning. The battle had ended, but the echoes of energy still lingered across Eloria. The sky, once filled with the Council's ships, was now calm, leaving only the faint glow of the artifact's pulse. Commander Elena Drake stood at the edge of the landing platform, looking at the crystal that had changed humanity's destiny. Her team gathered around, exhausted but exhilarated. Lieutenant Harris ran his fingers over the artifact's surface. "We did it, we survived. We actually survived." Elena nodded slowly. "More than that. We've shown the galaxy that humanity is different. Bold, curious, unafraid. We've crossed a line no one thought we could. And we did it with courage, not recklessness." In orbit, Ambassador Zyler watched the humans from his ship, still maintaining a careful distance. He reported back to the Galactic Council. "Council members, humanity has proven itself. They wield power unlike any other species. They have crossed the forbidden line, yet they have survived and adapted. Their audacity, it is remarkable." Some council delegates were silent, unsure how to respond. Humanity's actions had challenged everything they had believed about order and the galaxy's rules. Boldness, once seen as reckless, now appeared to carry strength, intelligence, and potential. On Eloria, the humans began to explore the artifact's power more carefully. Its energy was immense, but it responded to their intentions. It provided knowledge, technology, and understanding far beyond human science. It was as if the artifact had been waiting for the right species to wield it wisely. Harris spoke, a note of awe in his voice. "Commander, this power, it could solve problems on Earth, explore the universe, even protect us from dangers we haven't even imagined yet." Elena smiled faintly. "Yes. But with this power comes responsibility. The Council is watching. The galaxy is watching. And we cannot forget that crossing a line comes with consequences." Suddenly, a message echoed through their communication system. It was not from Earth Command, nor any human voice. It was the artifact itself, or perhaps something speaking through it. "You have crossed the line. You have proven yourselves worthy. But the universe is vast and challenges greater than you can imagine lie ahead. Prepare for what comes next." Elena's team looked at each other, a mixture of fear and excitement in their eyes. Humanity had survived the first trial, but the journey was far from over. They had entered a new chapter of existence, one where their courage, ingenuity, and unity would be tested against the mysteries of the cosmos. In orbit, Zyler made his final report. "They are not like any other species. Humanity, they are unpredictable. They may bring danger, but they may also bring change. The galaxy must watch carefully. The line they crossed is no longer just forbidden, it is the beginning of something new." Elena turned back to the artifact, its light calm but alive. She knew that humanity's future would be shaped by what they had learned here. The Council had recognized them, the artifact had acknowledged them, and the galaxy was waiting. A soft hum filled the chamber, almost like a heartbeat. Elena whispered to her team, "We are no longer just explorers. We are the future. The universe is watching us, and we have a chance to shape it." Harris nodded, glancing at the glowing crystal. "And this is only the beginning." The camera of the story might fade from the glowing artifact to the stars above, endless and mysterious. Humanity had crossed the line, awakened an ancient force and survived. They had won respect, gained power, and earned a place in a universe that had never seen their like before. But somewhere in the infinite reaches of space, dangers waited. Forces older and stronger than any human could comprehend were stirring, watching, and preparing. Humanity had taken the first step into a wider, stranger, and far more dangerous universe. And one thing was certain, the story of humanity's rise among the stars had only just begun.